Positive farm recovery and boosted growing performance starts with a little more understanding of how nature works. By definition, healthy plants naturally have a strong resistance to developing growing issues such as pests, disease, weeds and many more. Growing with synthetic chemicals is common today, however, it is often shown to lead to many troublesome growing issues. So what is going on? Let's look at what is commonly happening. Synthetic fertilizers such as NPK commonly come in a salt form. The salt dissolves their nutrients into the ground with moisture contact. However, being salt-based, it forces plants to take in more fluid than what they require. As a result, plants become bloated and watery. To the human eye they may look good, but in actuality, they are often not in their natural healthy state. To maintain the natural balance in nature, everything has its place. As part of this balance, some insects have evolved to have the role of being very effective in removing unnaturally growing plants. Their role is to search out these unhealthy plants and remove them as their food. These insects are also capable of breeding fast when there are many of these plants. This is why in modern industrial agriculture, there can be suddenly an outbreak of what we have termed pests. Once growers have invested the initial cost of synthetic fertilizers, few can afford to have large numbers of insects eating their crops. They then apply pesticides in an attempt to save their harvest. However, this leads to a greater problem. Pesticides can be very indiscriminate and kill many beneficial insects which are actually work to assist in the growing cycle. Also, being harsh chemicals, whatever falls to the ground can now have the effect of killing the naturally occurring soil life. Soil life is naturally very important to proper functioning soils, and much of the nutrients taken up by plants rely on the assistance of soil microbiology. Once this is damaged, soil and plant functions can go out of balance very quickly. With the increasing loss of soil life, plant health weakens further and they now become very susceptible to disease. Farmers may now apply fungicide in a further attempt to save their crop. Again, this has a likely potential to further harm important soil life. Overall growing performance is likely to further deteriorate. Now weed occurrence becomes stronger. A weed is defined as any plant which is unwanted. You will find different types of weed types appear for different conditions, and they actually can indicate details of your soil's condition. Any herbicides now applied are likely to kill more of the remaining soil life, particularly more of the microbiology. So now the full range of synthetic chemicals have assaulted the natural growing systems evolved over millions of years. These systems can work perfectly when allowed, however, once they are damaged, soil plant performance becomes progressively worse. This is usually the time when growers say their soils are too acid, and without replacing biology these soils are not likely to recover. All sorts of growing issues start occurring and growing seems to be no longer worthwhile. Of course, we cannot afford to simply walk away from growing, nor can growing communities go without food. Over the years, nutritional levels in crops have dropped considerably. Important research shows that we have to eat a lot more natural foods to get the same levels of nutrition we did a few generations ago. A lot of this is very much related to our depleting soils, due to synthetic chemical use. Most growers report how their yields have started to drop, and this is a telltale sign change needs to be considered. All in all, when one has the overall understanding given here, they would do well to look for another alternative in growing. We offer you today, through Growers Gold, the very real opportunity for soil restoration and regeneration. Your soil and plants can soon thrive again once the right steps are taken. Your produce will become healthier, more nutrient-rich, better tasting, in higher demand, and of higher value. It is surprising how easy and uncomplicated growing can be, once you realign to how nature naturally works. This is also important because population growth is now rapid, meaning less farming land and more people to feed. The Philippines, as an example, is predicted to double in population, reaching 200 million in the next 31 years. It's completely natural to have abundant healthy microbiology in your soil. They naturally operate in a synergistic relationship with plants, constantly servicing them to create the most positive growth possible. Nature has made it that way, and it is an automatic system we only need to be watchful to support. Growers Gold puts this natural biology back. This is our mission, to help growers and the community. Support biology and soil health restoration by reducing chemical use as much as possible. The dependence on synthetic chemicals to try to control natural processes can now end. With Growers Gold, nature can maintain healthy growth much more efficiently and effectively. You can really start to see a recovery quite quickly in overall plant health and growth. We also strongly suggest to you, reducing digging of your soil to a bare minimum. Digging harms soil life and it affects important soil structure. Each of these factors strongly affect plant growth performance. Growers' Gold naturally softens soil and restores soil structure, without the need for digging. Building up soil organic matter is another strongly recommended key to an awesome growing future. One way to do this is through the growing of cover crops between row crops or between growing seasons. We genuinely want you to know there are these positive ways of rebuilding your growing future. Start today by asking us for the opportunity to test and trial and see the difference for yourself. Grow well and grow naturally happy with Growers Gold.